everybody, it's Dave at Draftbit, and I thought it would be fun for you guys to watch me build a screen. So let's show you what we're going to do. I've got this screen here for a job app, and this is the home screen. I have already kind of broken down the design into some sections that I'm going to build. And so this gives you an idea of what it should look like when we're done. And I'm going to get started. So, all right, we've got a name here and some subtext. We've got an icon aligned to the right, probably a icon button. So let's go ahead and build this first section right here up at the top. First thing I'm going to do is grab a view. If you're familiar with doing web development, Vue in React Native is basically like a div. So all-purpose kind of container that you can apply a bunch of different styles to, layout styles, background color, size, width, padding, all this kind of stuff. So I'm going to start with that. And then inside of that, there's going to be two other views. One view for our text on the left and another view for our icon button on the right. And then for this containing view, I'm going to set the direction to row. And inside here, we're going to have two pieces of text. One for the name, the greeting, and one for the subtext. And then in this one, we're going to have the icon button, which is going to be a bell. Okay, so I want to add some padding to this section. So I think my overall layout is going to have 20 padding on the left and right. And then for this top section, let's try 20 also for the top and bottom. Okay, so the text here was hire a name, create a better future for yourself here. Okay, so I'm going to come over here to my data tab. Hi, Dave. And then down here, create a better future for yourself here. Okay. This text here, I'm going to pick something nice, go up to maybe 20 here. All right. And then what I want to do is I want to flex this view right here so that it takes up all the width except for what the icon button is taking up. So I can click on this one and I can set the flex to 1. And you see that pushes it all the way and takes up as much space as it can, minus the width of the icon button. So now I'm going to change the icon button icon. We've got all these different icons here that you can choose from, a whole bunch of different libraries. So I'm just going to search for bell and pick a cool bell. This one looks pretty cool. I like feather icons. And then what I want to do is I want to justify that in the middle. So there you can see now it's centered vertically. Okay, let's preview this now. In Draftbit, you can preview in the web, on iOS, and on Android, and you can also download our live preview app from the app stores and scan this code with the app, and then you can actually preview it on your device. So that looks pretty close. Let's see how the design looks. Oh, we've got an emoji here. So you can put an emoji in the text. So I can do that. I can pick a wave emoji. There we go. Okay. This does have a circle around it. So what do you think? I guess for the sake of being complete with the design, we can add a circle here. And you know what? This might not actually work because I'm not sure you can put a border on the circle, but let's find out. So the circle here, and I'm going to set it to the background color. And then what I want to do is, yeah, circle cannot. So what I can do instead is, I think I should be able to use a view. And I'm going to set this view width and height to, let's just do 50 like the circle for now. And I'm going to set the radius all the way up. And then I'm going to give it a 1-point border and use something light like that. So yeah, that looks pretty good. And then I'll just drag the icon into that instead and get rid of this circle. And you can see here, it's up in the left corner. So what we can do is on that view, that containing view, let me switch back here. On that containing view, we're just gonna center it and then also justify center. So there we go. We've got this now looking pretty good. One other thing that we can do is add some space here so that our text doesn't run all the way into the icon. There's two different ways we can do that. We can use a spacer component, like sandwiched between these two views, or we can apply some left margin to this view right here. So either way that works for you. I can show you how that works here. I'll just do like 10 on the left margin, and you can see now we've got this gap. But I can also take that away, click on our containing view, drop in a spacer, and then drag that between these two, and it'll give us the same effect here. So depending on what you prefer, some people like to be able to see the space in the component tree over here. It's easier for them to identify and figure out where that space is applied. Some people like know or have a set way that they do it, like they always apply left margin or whatever. So however you like to do it, it doesn't really matter. And then obviously you can adjust the space on the spacer to be however you like. So let's take a look. I think that looks pretty good. Let's take a look at our design. We've got a little bit more space here between this text. So that would be in this view right here and this text right here. And like we did, like I showed you with this view, we can apply some margin to the top. So I can apply like 10 margin to the top, and then that'll give us some space vertically there. So let's take one more look. All right, and I'm gonna get rid of, this is the default navigation header, and we can disable it if we want. And I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna turn off header mode here for the root nav, and you can see it's gone now in our preview mode. Okay, so pretty close, I would say. All right, next is going to be our search bar, or search. Okay, so I'll just give this a name. We can double click here and say header, and then click on our blank screen, and I'm going to add another view. This view is going to be our search, and I can go ahead and double click here and name this home. Home. Okay, so search, same thing. We want to keep our padding on the left and right consistent, so 20 and 20, just like the previous section. And then we might not need to add any top or bottom margin to this right now. So let's take a look at how we're going to do this. Okay, so we've got an icon inside of the search, but ours, like a regular text input component, does not have a icon by default that works the same way. So I'm going to build this customized. I'm basically going to start with a text input. I'm going to clear all the styling from that, and I'm going to create the field around it using views and an icon. So let's do that. I'm going to put a containing view inside of this one, and this is going to be our field. So our search field. And then it's going to have some padding, and that's going to be, I don't know, let's do like 10 on the left and right and 6 on the top and bottom just for now. And then it's also going to have a 1-point border that is a light gray, and inside of this, just like we did with the section up here, we want to have an icon on the left and our text field on the right. So inside of this search field, we're going to set the direction to row, align center, and then inside of this, I'm going to put one view for our icon, another view for the input. I'm going to drop the icon in here, and in here I'll try text input. Okay, we want our, in this case, we want our right side to fill up the entire space. So on that containing view on the right side, I'm going to do flex 1, stretches it all the way there. Again, we want a little bit of spacing between these, between the icon and the input. So I'll grab a spacer, drag it between these two views. You can see here. Okay. Now let's get the icon changed. This is going to be a search icon. Again, feather has a good one. Boom. Let's see what color that icon is. It's darker. Maybe not quite black. Okay. So like I said, the text input comes with some default styling, which you can see is not what we want. So I'm going to go to our text input, and I'm going to get rid of this padding for now. And I'm going to get rid of this border radius and get rid of all these border settings. Okay, so now that's starting to look a little better. We can come back to our search field, and you can see we need some border radius, so maybe 10. Or is it more than that? No, it's totally, just crank it all the way up. There we go. Okay. So, and actually, you know what? Inside this, I'm gonna remove this padding inside of this containing view, and I'm gonna put this padding inside. Actually, let's leave the one on the left and right. It wasn't that much, was it? That's like 10. Okay, and then I'm gonna put the top and bottom padding on the field. So this will just make it so that like there's not a space between the input and the border here, which is not clickable. Like you would click on it and expect it to focus the input, but it wouldn't. So instead, I'm gonna apply this top and bottom on the actual input. And then this spacer, I think, needs to come down. Yep, that's better. Okay, so now we've got our click field, or our search field, and I can come to our text input. What does it say? Search ... Come here to our placeholder text, search ... Okie doke. That's good. And let's make that placeholder text color something a little more subtle. What do we see? Yeah, more subtle. Yeah, that's better. This icon too might be just a hair too dark, huh? Let's try medium. Yeah, that's better. And that border, that border is darker too, huh? Come down here. Try divider. That looks pretty good. I even might like that up here in the header. Click on this view and set it to divider. What does that look like? Cool. I say that's pretty close. All right, so next section is going to be suggest job. Then we've got a little link here, and it seems like this is a horizontal list of cards. So we can do that using some example data from Draftbit. So let's do that. Suggested job. Okay. I'm gonna add a view here. Suggested jobs. And then inside of this view here, go ahead and add some of our left and right padding. And then we had a heading, right? And this heading is also going to be a row, aligned center, because inside of that, we're going to have our actual text heading. And then on the right, we're going to have a link. So this is going to say, what did it say? Suggested jobs. I think it should say jobs. Suggested jobs. Oops. Okay, doke. And then again, we want this to take up full width. So we'll give it a flex 1. And our link is going to say something like view all. And we're going to make this text a actual heading, maybe medium 18, maybe 16. I don't know. What does that look like? It's smaller than this. You know what? Now that I'm looking at it real quick, this should be, yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, so this section here, again, we want some space here vertically. So I'm gonna put some padding just inside of this section. And then underneath our heading, we've got another section. Oh, you know what? Let's see. If this is going to scroll this way, then that means I don't want to have any padding on the left for this section, because then it would seem to like fade in. There would be a gap here and it would just fade into a white space rather than looking like it's going off the side of the screen. So we're gonna come back to this, and I'm gonna remove the padding on the left and right from the main container, and I'm gonna apply that to the one around our heading instead. Okay, so we've got that 20 padding back on the left and right of the heading, but now when we add another, let's see, what do we want to do? We can, we want to do a list, I guess. So let's set up, we can go to example data.draftbit.com, and we've got some stuff here that you can use. It's just fake data, and we're going to use fake data. I think we have some jobs, or we used to, I thought. Am I missing it? I guess we don't have any jobs. In that case, I'll just make them all look the same, and I'll just grab a generic one and set it up just so we can create a list like that's populated with some items. So I'll do that real quick. We'll just say Draftbit service. Nope. Example dash data.draftbit.com, and then save that. And I'm going to add an endpoint for just teams is usually what I use if I just want a list of data and I don't care what the data is. So I'm going to get many, just say team. That's really unimportant. This is going to be teams, and I'll say you can set a limit, and by default I'll make that like 4. Okay, let's test that. Good, we've got 4 teams. Done. Okay, so we're going to add a fetch, and a fetch component allows you to use one of your API connections to grab some data. In this case, we've only got one service set up, and it's for team endpoint. And we're going to grab 4, the default. You can see here, here's everything returned. Okay, inside of fetch, I'm going to put a list. And this list is going to get the data, the top level response from our fetch request. Okie doke. Now, inside of let's go to our list and actually make it horizontal first. Okay, so we want our list to scroll left to right and right to left rather than up and down. So we change it to horizontal. And then now we can start building basically the cards of our horizontal list. So that's going to be, we'll start with a view, and we'll just say this is like job card, and we're going to, let's take a look at it real quick. So we've got the card, and we're going to have to set a width and a height to this card. And then it's basically got a section here and a section here and a section here. So 3 sections, and this top section is going to be 3 sections in a row. Basically, it's going to be an icon and then some text and then another button, or icon button, or actually probably a checkbox for that. It looks like a favorite icon. And then one for some of these like category chips or whatever, and then money and button. Okay, so let's build this card. Icon, text, icon. All right, job card. The first, we're gonna have 3 sections, remember? So this top section is gonna be like card header. And that is going to have it's going to be a row again here, and inside that row is going to be 3 sections. And since the text is in the middle section, I want this section to be flex 1. I want the middle section to flex all the way, and push the icons all the way to the left and right. Okay, so this is going to be an icon. Actually, it looked like it was a circle, so we'll have to redo that circle. In fact, all we need to do is come up here. Is this our circle? Yes. Okay, so I can duplicate this, and I'm going to drag it into this view right here. Okay, cool. And And then this one is going to have 2 pieces of text in it. And then this one is going to have a checkbox. So you can see we've already got our horizontal row here scrolling. We just basically don't have any styling for anything, but we've got our cards, they're there. So we can actually show you the card real easy by putting some styling on it. Let's make it primary background. We're gonna give it like, this is probably too much padding, but yeah, let's do like 16 maybe. It's probably still too much, but okay, we can do that for now. And then we're gonna do border radius like 12. Okay, so you see we're getting there. And then we need some space right to the right of each card. So I'm just gonna use a spacer for that. So drop that in the list after this job card, and you can see here. So our icon disappeared because it's also primary, and it needs to be what, like a brand zoom. How about Draftbit? I'm not sure I have a logo for Draftbit at the moment. Let's just look for some other social company. I don't know. Let's just do GitHub. And then we'll change the color to the background color. Cool. All right. Is that okay? So this, it's like the look, the icon is like inside. So maybe I should have left it. You know what? Let's just do strong. And I'm going to come back to the job card, and I'm going to change the background to strong. And then this container around our icon, I'm going to change this background to white. There we go. And I'm also going to reduce this to like, nope, not enough. Yeah, let's do 12. Okay, that's fine for now. We'll go with that. Okay, so then the text, this text, enter and medium, and let's leave it at 14. Backgrounds, color, and it's going to say product designer, and then GitHub United States. Okay. Product designer, GitHub. Let's see. I know there's just a regular dot here. That's fine for now. No. Okay. We'll just use that. All right. GitHub United States. We're going to make this text a little bit smaller. So we'll try 12. and maybe not so dark. And then inside of our card here with this, we want a little bit of space between these things horizontally. So I'll drop 2 spacers in here and then drag those up between them. All right, cool. So, and let's update this icon to be that like, so the unchecked icon is like a bookmark or something. We need one with 2 states. So we'll do, this is for unchecked. And it'll be white. And then the checked icon will be this one, oops. This one. And the color, actually, let's make it like, how about that? So now, when you click it, you can see changes the state. Okay, cool, that looks good. And then so on our list here is where we want to put a gap, right? We want to put that 20 because we want it to start with that 20-point gap, right? Because this doesn't look right. It's not lined up correctly, right? These things should start out lined up, but then when you start to scroll the list, it goes off the side of the page. So we put that padding on the left of the list like that. And then we need a little bit of a space below the heading like that. Too much? No, it's all right. So now you can see we've got our scrolling cards. What else are we missing? Some chips, and then this money and button. Okay, so inside of our list, our card. So we've got here our icon, and this is our text, and this is our checkbox, and then underneath card header, we want a card body. And inside the card body is going to be those chips. So again, you would likely be using a list to render something like this. In this case, I'm just going to do 3 sections going across. So this body is going to be a row, a line center. It's going to have 3 views inside of it. And actually, you know what? I'm just going to do 1 view and then I'll duplicate the others. So make it easier on ourselves. So this is going to be the chip, basically. And then, so our chip is going to have a different background color, I guess, like a lighter, but I guess I could show you that. Well, no, we've already got gray. It's fine. You can add your colors, though. You probably know that if you're already watching, but there's themes here. You can create new colors, update colors, and then that you assign to things. So for this one, I'll just use like this dark medium, and then it's going to need a little bit of a padding. Usually more padding on the left and right than on the top and bottom looks best. So something like 8 and 8 and 4 and 4. And then inside that chip is going to be the text. And what does it say? Uh-oh, did I close that? Okay. Full-time remote design. Okay. full time, and I want this to probably be, maybe that might be all right. Make the text visible, and then this chip needs border radius all around. Let's take a look. Okay, so that's good, except I think this text is too big. Let's see about that padding. Yeah, it's, oh, but you know what? Instead of using padding, we could just stretch these guys all the way across. We could do a flex 1. Okay, this is gonna stretch this guy all the way across. But since we're gonna add 3 and we've got this card body set to be a row, as I duplicate these, they're all gonna stretch to take up the space that they can. So you can see here, now we've got them all spaced out, and I actually should, we can either do text center here, or we can center align the text inside of the outer chip. This works fine. And then all we really need now is some space between each of these, and we know how to do that. Spacer, spacer, drag it up, drag it up. Okay, this is gonna be too much space though. So we want more like, try 4 and 4. I think I went too quick. There we go. How's that look? Pretty good. Okay, we need a little bit of space between this, the body and the header. So you could do top margin, or you could do spacer, either one. Spacer, okay. What else? That looks pretty good, I think. I mean, yeah. Obviously, these would all be different in the design here, but for the sake of time and all that. So now, all we need is that last part, which is going to be the card footer. And let's go ahead and just duplicate this space below the card body. Click on the card, add a new view. This view is going to be the card footer. It's going to have the same padding. Or did we add the padding on the outside on the card? Yeah, we did. Okay. So this is going to be, again, a row centered with 2 different views inside, one on the left for the salary and one on the right for the call to action. So I'll drop in some text here. Oh, actually, let's take a look at what this is. Okay, we've got 2 different size texts here, but that's not hard to deal with. But we are going to want to change this inner view here to also be row. Actually, you know what? I don't think we need to do that. I think we can just put that text inside the other text. Let's try it. Let's change this to, let's see, it's big old text. Big and bold. 18 maybe, I don't know. What does it say? 12K to 15K a month. 12K to 15K. Okay. Guess I need to change that to a color you can see. I think it needs to be bigger. What do you think? 24, but maybe not so bold. I don't know. Oh, it's not as bold as I thought, but I kind of feel like it should be bolder. Yeah, I like that. Okay. You know what, this too, and this header, this view, this text right here needs to be bolder too. Also, we didn't set a width, or I didn't set a width to the job card, so I'm going to set a width. I want the width to be probably about 320. Maybe even 300. Oops. Okay, cool. That looks good. We can adjust it as we need to when we take a look in iOS and Android. Sweet. Okay. So then the next bit of text we can actually drop into this text. And this is going to say /month. And the text is smaller and not as bright. Oh, it does apply the same text size. I thought it made a different size. Oh, you can. Okay. So, I don't know. Is that too small? Maybe a little. 12. All right. I think that looks pretty good. Let's check it here. Yep. Works for me. Okay, and then on the right side here, this is our right side. Go back to here. And our right side, actually we want, no. Let's leave it. Let's do them, how about we do them split? We do them, if we do each of these 1 and 1, they'll, just like we saw with these chips, they'll both take up an equal amount of space. Might be too much. I guess we could just let the button get squished. Yeah, let's just do that. Okay. So then we're going to drop a button in here. And the button says apply now. So, on the wrong one. Button. Apply now. And our button comes with some default styling as well, which we're going to adjust because we need full radius on those ends. And I'm going to make the text a little smaller and not bold. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's too much padding here. I just want like 4 on the top and bottom of the button. Let's see. This is the button, right? Okay. Oh, I think it has a minimum height. We should really indicate that. Okay, here we go. A little more. A little more. And about like that. Let's take a look. Okay. I'm happy with that. That looks pretty good. Okay. Now we basically have another list which is like all the same data, but just in a vertical list and a slightly different format, but it's all the same bits and affordances. Okay, so let's do that section. We've got a heading just like the one before. So actually, what I can probably do is I can copy this whole thing right here and just tweaks a few settings and get exactly this, I think. I don't think it's going to be that difficult. So let's try it out first. I'm going to come up to this main section. Let me show you. This main section right here. I'm going to duplicate it. And then what's it called? Recent jobs. Okay. How about latest jobs? You can put a space in your names, but I don't usually. Okay. And latest, we'll just update this. Latest jobs. And we're going to go to our list. And this list is no longer going to be horizontal, for one. So we can apply that there. And then our card is no longer going to have a definite width. It's just going to stretch all the way across. And then it's no longer going to have a background, which means we're going to have to update the colors. We'll do a different company with these lighter colors, I guess. So, and then we're just going to rearrange some stuff, but let me adjust these colors real quick. So tap on this. This will be strong, and this will be medium, and this will be, let me leave that like that. Let me set this to, or how about we'll use secondary, how about that? Secondary. But these guys are like in a different spot, right? They're on the bottom. They're on the left, money on the right. And then where was the apply now? Oh, there is no apply now. Okay. So it was these on the left, money on the right. We've already got that format right here, and we're getting rid of the button. So I can delete the button, drag this stuff over to this right side, and drag these guys over to the left side, and then get rid of this section in the middle. Okay, let's do that. So this section here, this button is gone. This section, this text here is going to go into that view, and this view here is going to flex, and it's going to have the chips. So I guess I could just drag card body in there. No, let's just drag all the chips. This is going to be flex one, inner row, center. So we're going into this view right here. So I'll just drag them from the bottom up. Chip, spacer, chip, spacer, chip. Get rid of this card body. Get rid of this extra spacer. Oop, did I drag those into the wrong one? Uh-oh, I think I deleted it. Oh no, is that the text? Where'd it go? Okay, card footer. That's the left side. Oh, that's the right side. When I click on this, I don't see it in there. Oh, that's weird. Oh, there it goes. Oh, something weird happening there. Okay, I dragged these things into the wrong one, so they go in this one. This view right here. There we go. Okay, and then this view here. This text should be smaller, so like 18 and 10. I don't know. Let's change that color so we can see it. Green. We'll just make it primary. There we go. So we might not have enough room, or I guess we could just make our chips, text smaller. And we could reduce the spacers. I went too fast again. Spacer, spacer. Okay. Now we need a space between those two. Let me switch back here so you can see. We need a space here between those two. Like that. And it's, you know what? Oh, you know what? Part of the problem is we left this spacing here on this job card. We do not need that spacing anymore. So that helps. Okay, there we go. That's better. Is there a divider? Yep. Okay. So, let's drop a divider. Obviously, you could do this any number of ways. Like you could have the spacer or the divider inside the card, however you want to do it. It's as long as it's effectively the same outcome. So let's take a look then. We've got this scrolling, and we've got our latest jobs. And our fetch and our list. I'm trying to figure out why this is not scrolling here. It should be scrolling. Maybe the screen. Yeah. Okay. So go back to my list. Let's do a preview now and just see what we're working with. Okay. Cool. All right, so we can grab this list and drag it. Well, that doesn't seem to be working very well. All right, I'm not sure about this. I think maybe this has like a flex 1 set or something. It should not. Let me. Also, our icon is cut off here. Let me preview this on my phone and see. Okay, I'm gonna come back to design mode, come back here. I'm gonna add top safe area. Okay, so just so you see, this is my, yeah, okay, so this list right here is set to flex 1, which is making it not scroll on mobile. But it should now scroll on mobile. Yes, it does. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. So we can go up and down, we can go left and right. Let's double check here in the preview. You can see, okay, scrolling left and right, scrolling up and down. We can grab this list and scroll it left and right. And we can grab the screen and scroll up and down. And we can do the same thing over here on Android. Up and down, up and down. Cool. All right. Well, that was pretty good. I don't know how long that's been, but it didn't take too long. So anyway, I hope that was helpful for you to get an idea of like how different things are built, and how to lay things out, and using Flex and all that. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.